How's it hanging, YouTubes? Peter here, your ginger jawed geek. Welcome back to the channel for another Saturday Night Live. And tonight, I'm joined by my best buds on YouTube as ever. We've got the full look at the faces. Look at this stunning panel. We've got we've got GP with his wonky eye. We've got Highland G with his guns out. And we've got the main Mowl himself, as ever, Dr. Von Hoot. So, and we will be joined by our good friend Rob, who's not playing with his meat this week. So, Rob will be joining us shortly. We'll start with you, Luke. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. I'm eagerly watching this San Diego Comic-Con content as it comes out.
Yeah, it's crackers. It's just non-stop, isn't it? There's just stuff.
I was expecting it all to be Saturday and Sunday, but we've been having stuff since Thursday, so it's been full on already.
Yeah, and we're going to touch lightly on it later on. We're going to just brush over some of the interesting bits. GP, how are you?
I'm tickety boo, mate. Pissed a lot of people off. Pissed a lot of people off this week. Been told to have a good old dose of Jesus in my life.
Right.
It's all
well, you do keep publishing stuff with boobs, don't you?
I do.
mean, that's Yeah. So, have you been told to be more Christian? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Okay.
The good old right wing getting the
Perhaps, I don't know, slap yourself with the Bible or something like that a few times, and I'm sure you'll.
I'm sure I haven't heard that one yet.
Highland G, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's toasty here, but yeah, I'm all good.
Yeah, it is a little bit warm, isn't it? I mean, it's been raining all day here, but it's still hot as out. Von Hoot. Oh, sorry, Doctor. I'll give you your full title. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad, but not bad. You're looking stunning as ever.
I mean, I try my best.
You do. You scrub up well.
You just rolled out of bed looking like that. That's
exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, straight out the nest. Yeah. And Rob, how are you, sir?
Well, I'd say I'm Ducky, but I'm better than Ducky. I'm just ecstatic to be here and love the mug there, DVH.
Yeah, very
always
cool.
pimping the merch. Can't go wrong.
Yeah,
Comics curing cancer. Get this.
Yeah, and I saw your post recently, Rob. Just tell the people that because you've
so it was great news. So as many people know, on my channel at Rob's Fat Snacks, we put 100% of the channel revenue I get, whether it be the ad revenue, the super chats, the channel membership, merchandise sales, whatever. It all gets donated to Comics Curing Cancer, which is a campaign of the American Cancer Society. And funny thing, it benefits the entire world because if anybody discovers a cure for cancer, everyone gets it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, anyways, we had our first month in June where we, through the passive income of YouTube, we broke $200 mark, $200 US. That was donated over to the Comics Curing Cancer. And with that, we've hit over $1,300 so far for this year that's been raised just through the passive channel membership and YouTube super chats, etc. That's been donated to Comics Curing Cancer. And that's actually not entirely true. $200 of that has come from guests that have come on the show that then turned around and made $100 donations each to the show. But still, over $1,000 has been generated for that from that aspect, and it all builds up to our big event in October, October 20th through the 22nd. We have a giant 3-day event that'll be happening across multiple YouTube channels where we're going to be raising money through basically almost like a pledge drive as well as a big giant auction where we're going to be hoping to surpass last year when we raised $22,000. We're hoping to hit $25,000 this year for Comics Curing Cancer.
Incredible. And like I said, I think the last time we spoke about it, we'll have to catch up offline because I'd like to do something from the UK side of things.
Absolutely.
I'm sure the guys on screen will help out. And
we'd love to have you guys.
Kind of thing. Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, we've got 17 people in the chat, so please do hit the like and subscribe button, the bell notification, and please make sure you sub up all of my guests tonight because they've all got superb channels with great content. Excuse me. Okay, just quickly jump through to see who we've got. We've got good old StreamYard. Thank you for joining. We've got good old Jack. Nice to see you, my friend. And we've got my pal Deadman. Always a pleasure to see you, sir. We've got Comic Journey. Good afternoon. And we've got John Bromley, nice to see you. We've got Jesper. Jesper, I'm not sure if is this your first time on the channel. If so, welcome, sir. Do appreciate you joining. And we've got Sean. Nice to see you, Sean. Not a clue who that bloke is, and we'll ignore him. And we've got Jack. Not so we've already said hello, Jack. Not all heroes wear capes, Rob's great human, but absolutely. Okay, right.
We actually have one of our shirts because we didn't want to steal that slogan. So we have not. You don't have to be a superhero to save lives. That's one of our slogans we use for the campaign. So yeah,
very good, very good. Okay, guys, we've got lots to get through tonight, so let's crack straight on. As ever, I just want to quickly touch on some of the things that are happening on my channel, or have been happening, and some of the other bits and bobs. But we will get to a usual menu of geek news, what we've been buying, watching. And then we're going to do a little focus on toy-related movies and things. So that should be good. Falcon Hell Magic. Jackin, thank you very much for joining. Okay, let's crack on. So on my channel this week, we've had a busy old week. First of all, I interviewed Doug, who's a self-published writer of a comic book series called Isolation, works in conjunction with Reggie Collects, who I'm sure many of you know. Really interesting chat, so please do check that out. We then talked with John Lees, who's one of my favourite writers of horror books, including Sync, The Standard, The Nasty, and a whole host of other great stuff. He also did Crimson Cage and Hotel. So again, check that out. Really interesting talk. I went over to Reviews with Rich's channel and did a review of Mission Impossible. Anybody seen that yet?
No, not yet. No.
Yeah, well worth a view. Very, very cool. Very cool. And then on my channel as a normal video, we did a 1/6 scale unboxing of the So-So Toys Omnipotent Hero, which is obviously Omni-Man from Invincible, third-party figure, which is a stunning figure. Really, really like that one. Last night, we did 1/6 scale news, which was a Sideshow Con exclusive. So all the news about what was happening in Sideshow. So please do check that out. And then tonight, we've got Saturday Night Live, obviously. Tomorrow night, we've got this week's comics. We're reviewing all the week's comic books. And then on Monday, we're doing another San Diego Comic Con on Let's Talk Toys. So, yeah, that's a lot of activity. GP, tell me about this, mate.
Yeah, so this Tuesday at 8 p.m, we're going live on my channel to review Crimson Cage by John Lees and our good friend Alex Comic, who did the art. Really looking forward to this. It's a book I like, so I can't wait to hear what other people think about it. And if you are in the chat, you know, you can join in, let us know your thoughts, and give a little score at the end.
Yeah, it's a really, really cool book. So I'm looking forward to talking about that. We've got Kenneth here. Hi, Kenneth. Nice to see you, mate. Thank you for joining. Chaps, can you just pop yourselves on mute, please? Because I can hear seagulls and all kinds of bird fowl. I'm not sure if that's coming from one hoot or not. We've also got on the same night on Tuesday Reviews with Rich, where we're going to be talking about the Flash God Helper. So that should be interesting. And then a big shout out to all of my UK colleagues who all do live show content. Always worth checking them out and seeing what different shows they have got going on. Now, before we get into the main news, I just want to quickly jump in and say hi to the Comic Vet, but then say hello to our roving reporter who's actually on scene at San Diego Comic Con. Efren. Oh, you're not Efren. Efren.
I made it.
How are you, sir?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Hi. All right, I made it, Peter. I saved a couple minutes for you, man. Right
Good,
behind
man.
me, and let me turn the camera on, is the Gaslamp District. Can you guys see that?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And this is the main entrance to the convention center. And let's go in for a couple minutes, okay, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, have you been to San Diego Comic Con, Rob?
No, I don't go to that zoo.
Yeah, it's a bit
You
manic,
gotta
isn't
go
it?
at least
Huge.
once in your life.
Yeah, my sister went and she said that she's never going back, so I think I'm good.
Has it been a good con so far, Efren?
It's been great. This is like my 30th year, so I'm used to it. It's part of my routine, and it is crazy. I won't lie. You know, you can see all these people here, but I'm having a good time. I see my friends here, and you know, we're hanging out. I've gone to a couple parties already. You've seen my pictures yesterday. It's fun. You know, it's something that I do. It's only once a year, so I recommend if anybody's never gone to go, you know, once. But you guys all know how conventions are. You know, it's just crazy.
But it's hard to get tickets, isn't it, Efren? If you've not been before, is my understanding.
For anybody who goes every year, it's basically luck of the draw.
Yeah.
You register to become a member, and then a certain day, they say, okay, the badges are going to be available, and if you're lucky, you get one. If you don't, you don't. You know, and even though I've been going for a long time, you know, my chances are as good as anybody else.
Yeah. I mean, it looks very busy.
Yeah, it's, you know, this is Saturday. Saturday is the busiest day at Comic-Con, and it just is. It is what it is, you know.
So have you managed to pick up anything exciting, Efren?
Yeah, I picked up some of the Transformer ash cans and Into the Void ash cans.
Oh
I
yes.
picked up some books from I picked up some books from Trinity Comics, and I was fortunate enough to be chosen for Mattel. Asked Luke. We picked up some stuff that both of us wanted, and yeah, you know, it's just craziness, guys, but it's fun, you know.
Good stuff.
Efren, did
It
you
looks
just walk
amazing.
past Flash Gordon?
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Sam Jones right here. Sam, I'm
Thanks,
on
Sam.
YouTube. You want to say hi to anybody? See?
I wish I could hear what he said.
This is why I go. You know, chance meetings like this. You know, I wasn't planning on it, you know, interviewing anybody quick for you, Peter, and you guys, but I just did. And
Good stuff.
thanks,
Good
JT, for noticing that, but I didn't.
Oh, you're welcome, Dad.
Yeah.
Excellent. It looks amazing, Efren. It looks absolutely amazing.
Brilliant.
Oh, okay, mate. Listen, Efren, we're going to let you get on because I'm sure you're going to have lots to do today. Appreciate you jumping in.
All right,
Have
guys.
you got that magic waistcoat on again there, Efren?
I do, and it was signed by Peach Momoko yesterday. She did a little remark on it, so it came out really nice.
Wow. We'll have to send some images of that.
That's right here. That's right here. So,
Stunning. Okay, mate. Thank you very much, Efren. We'll catch you later, mate.
all right, guys, take care.
Bye.
Cheers,
See you,
mate.
mate.
Bye.
I can't believe we just met Flash Gordon. That is amazing.
By
Like,
Simon's logic,
wow.
we have. And
I mean,
we've
by
both all
Simon's
been to
logic, we
Comic Con.
have.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
That was amazing.
So okay, let's crack on then, guys. So like I say, we've got lots to get through tonight. Appreciate Efren doing that. We've got 20 people watching. Please do hit the like and subscribe and all that jazz. Okay, The Flash, projected to become one of the biggest box office bombs of all time, with Warner Bros. Losing over 200 million. I was surprised at that. I mean, who's seen the movie? I know Rob's
I haven't
seen it.
seen it, but I'm not surprised. And the way Warner Brothers financials are in, from what has been reported, they're not in the best condition financially anyway. So I'm a bit worried about future projects coming out of Warner Brothers.
Is it even worse than Cutthroat Island then?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Green Lantern is kind of regarded as the worst DC movie, isn't it? And it's.
I was just talking about big bombs. I mean, because Cutthroat Island was like on the list of one of the biggest bombs of all time.
Huge. Yeah.
You know what they need to do is they need to get another Harry Potter movie out if they want to make money. That'll make crazy money.
Yeah.
And, you know.
It's not DC, but.
Yeah.
No, but Warner need the shot of injection of money.
Yeah.
That
James,
Harry Potter money goes far.
You're welcome to the chat, James. We've just met Flash Gordon, James. Well, I'm saying met him. I couldn't hear him. He couldn't hear us. But, you know, he was on.
We met him.
We met him.
Don't
Yeah.
run that for us, Peter.
It counts.
Yeah.
Via proxy.
This material right there.
Yeah. Fuzzy, Warner Brothers aren't going anywhere. Oh, absolutely, mate. I mean, this is not going to affect them big time, I don't think. But in terms of comic book movies, it's a sad reflection because let's be honest, they're still making money, but there's not been a lot of positivity about comic book movies for a while. We are on a bit of a decline. I think Guardians pulled it back a little. But Blue Beetle's next out, and what I'm hearing is that that's ropey. Aquaman's
look
on
good,
its
does it?
third round of reshoots, apparently. That's a dump.
They
fire,
need to
you know,
bin that movie. Like, honestly, I don't know anybody wanting to see it and
Yeah.
having to just pour more money into it. I guess because the first one made so much money, they're thinking they'll be successful again, but
Yeah.
I just don't see
DVH,
it.
you are wrong. There are literally tons of housewives lined up waiting to see Jason Momoa take his shirt off.
Yeah, that's very
But-
true. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Not
the
just
main reason
Housewives,
I'm
Rob,
going,
not just
but,
Housewives.
like,
But aside from that, you're correct.
Yeah. Yeah. I
The thing
mean,
with
it's-
Aquaman is, though, they can make that and just do another tax write-off on it. And
Yeah.
it'll never see the light of day.
Yeah. Yeah. Luke, are you excited about Aquaman? I mean, obviously about him taking his shirt off.
I like the first one well enough.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not a massive DCU fan. Like, I like the older DC movies from way back in the day. But yeah, Aquaman 1 was okay. I'm not going to rush out to go see it, just like I'm not going to rush out to go see Blue Beetle. So
Yeah.
I don't even think much is going to change even when they reboot the whole thing. I still won't be rushing out to go anywhere.
And how about you? I know Highland J, you don't necessarily rush to the cinema, do you? You wait for them to come.
Yeah, typically I would wait for the Blu-ray, but of the newer kind of DC stuff, Aquaman was actually my favorite film. I actually
Yeah,
thought it was the most accurate to the comics, and it was just really good fun. So I was really disappointed when even Momoa wanted to distance himself from the second one, because that just doesn't bring good things.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a disaster. I really do. I don't know. A lot hangs on this. new
Warner Brothers
Superman
owns
movie.
Barbie though, right? So surely they're making all the money from the Barbie movie.
I don't know. Do they? Is Barbie Warner Brothers?
I'm pretty sure they published Barbie.
Not sure.
Because I
But
think
yeah.
Sony started it, but then Warner Brothers bought it out.
No, right. Oh, well, I mean, I would imagine they're going to make a bit of money from that. I'm going to see that tomorrow, so that should be interesting. Hi, Brian. Thank you very much for joining, bud. So yeah, I don't think anybody that's seen seeing that, it's quite, it's quite splitting the Flash. Some people still seem to enjoy it, whereas I thought it was atrocious. It's interesting this week that there's been a whole flurry of images hit the internet, because obviously the digital version has come out, so people are actually screenshotting those cameos, and you can see just how bad the special effects are. I mean, the Nicolas Cage one, and apparently he filmed it. The Nicolas Cage one is horrific, but I just kind of get my head around it.
that.
Well,
I thought
that's
it
what
was
I read.
totally CG. It looks awful.
Yeah, what I read was that he went in and filmed it, so they've done something to de-age him or to make his head shiny or something. But it's
Unless they did like
it's-
motion capture and just like used him for the motion capture.
Yeah, maybe, but not good. I know I have some Star Wars nerds on the panel. Disney CEO Bob Iger confirms that Lucasfilm will be reducing its output of new Star Wars content moving forward. That's got to be a good thing, hasn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the same
more
with Marvel.
quality.
Just, quality over quantity.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't say anything about they're going to be improving the quality here.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah.
One only
Yes,
hopes, though, Rob.
Your assumption is that less quantity equals better quality. However, with anything really with that franchise, I'll consume it, but you gotta wait and see.
It's more of a dying prayer than anything else, Rob.
I more want to see somebody officially. All the rumors keep going around for a year now of Kathleen Kennedy being gone, but then she's back, but then she's not going, but then she's gone again. But now nobody wants to take the job, so now she's going to stick around. Supposedly, all these rumors, but nothing happening. I really just like to see her go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the Ahsoka trailer, and I think we talked about that briefly last week. That trailer looked pretty good. So I'm just hoping it's not a typical trailer and that everything good in the series is being crammed into that trailer. But, we'll see. Like you say, Rob, it's Star Wars. So I think most of the people on screen who like Star Wars will absorb the content and then look and moan about it afterwards.
I will freely admit I'll watch it all. I don't care if it's good or bad. I'll complain about it equally, probably, but I'll consume it because, God damn it, that's just I'm a fanatic, right? That's what you do.
Absolutely. Evening, Ian. Nice to see you, my friend. Yeah. Now, This is interesting. Is it interesting? No, it's not. It's shite. So Marvel Comics have rebranded and are re-releasing The Punisher. We talked last week about this kind of costume design. They've announced it at San Diego Comic-Con. It's a character called Joe Garrison, who's a retired SHIELD Black Ops agent. That's all we know about him. Why?
So he's a new character, is he?
New character.
Right. Okay.
Why?
Why?
And does he still work? Does he still work for Shield then? Like
No, I
as the
think
Punisher?
I think he's retired. I don't know. I don't know.
Is this a bit of Disney influence going into Marvel Comics now?
But-
Them
but
space age
no.
guns.
Well, yeah, but the whole point, or apparently the whole point of them distancing from Punisher and all the rest of it was because of the skull symbol and all the rest of it and the connotations in America now. But there it is. That's still the skull.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
think
not
it's-
the reason.
I think it's because of the whole revenge aspect and the taking the law into your own hands. Like if he's a SHIELD agent, then it's part of the job, and it's not going to be deemed as being something that
To just become like an X-Force version of Shield or something like.
Yeah. It's I think that's the reasoning behind it, because then it makes it more Disney friendly for their content.
I guess.
Because Wetworks is that much better than.
Yeah.
I feel like the fans would rather a
First
Frank
order.
series without the Punisher name than a Punisher on something that's not Frank.
Yeah. I just
They-
don't see the point of it. I mean,
No.
Frank Castle's such a classic character, and
He'll be back. But if you really wanted to make it more Disney friendly and you want to go different, then you should have just gone with Punisher 2099, where instead
Yeah.
he's taking people and putting them into his own prison, and because there wasn't a prison, and he's incarcerating them and
Yeah.
making them do just time. Come on.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I want to pick
2099.
up on this. I want.
We hear you say what?
2099. But no.
No.
I want to pick this up. So some of you might not know because you've never had the pleasure of seeing some of my cosplay attempts in the past. So I once painted myself blue and wore a wig and looked like Sonic the Hedgehog. Ian Carter, this prick, Ian Carter this week tags me in a video. You might have seen the video of the very large ginger man who's dressed as a turtle who jumps
Oh,
off
I
a
forgot about
stage
that one.
and face plants the crowd. He tagged us in that and said, "Peter, have you been out cosplaying again?" You bastard, Ian. But yeah, no, it was good for it. It's a great. If you haven't seen it, Google it. It's very, very amusing. So yeah, Punisher. No idea why. Will I pick up issue 1? Yep, undoubtedly, just to see what it's all about. Now this does bother us slightly, because out of all of the movie adaptations of films of comics we've had, I'm a big fan of Watchmen. I think it stays,
Yeah.
apart from the end, it stays pretty scene by scene to the original. I'm not sure I want a new animated series. What do you guys think?
Nah, I just go and watch the film.
Well,
No problem about
like
being an
like I
animated one.
say, like I say about all reboots, it doesn't take away the old one. You've still got
Yeah.
that. So if it brings in a new audience and it gets people interested in those characters and they want to check out what came before, whether it be comics or movies, it can only be a good thing. I think we all get a bit too hung up on reboots. I think as long as they're not taking something away from us, having more
Yeah.
of the same thing, I think it's okay.
I agree with you to a point, Luke. You're absolutely right. But I guess the way I look at it is that animated movie is taken away from them producing another animated movie of a new story or a different story that we've not had. Do you know what I mean? So I would rather they were doing something different and exciting. That said, I haven't got a slide because it was literally just announced as we came on air, I think. They've also announced that they're going to do an animated movie of the original Crisis on Infinite Earths, which I don't think we've seen before. So quite looking forward to that.
They are, but it's going to be a spin-off from the current series of movies.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was the original.
So it's not going to be like a standalone. It'll be the continuity from the.
Yeah, they tend to tie it
current
into
series
their
movies.
sort of.
They do. They're very
universe.
similar, but it doesn't
Yeah.
mean that it's going to be exactly the same as the.
But they're really popular. I think the animated movies like sell.
Oh, they're
really well.
great.
They have-
I mean,
they
I was
have
going
decent
to
kind of
say
audience
this,
to them.
but
I've watched so many more DC animated movies than I have their live action.
I
ones.
watched that last night.
Which one's
and
that? Tevon, who
It's
can't read that?
War.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it comes out on Monday, and my copy got released
Oh,
to
very
me
cool.
early for some reason, and it's really, really good. I highly recommend it when it comes out.
I mean, I have to say, in terms of animated output, the DC animated movies are very, very good.
Oh yeah.
They're all
Yeah,
always on a high quality.
Just to jump on that point, I had a comment off one of my shorts the other day. It was for the Gargoyle of Gotham.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They did an animated trailer, and I made that into a short, and somebody commented saying, "Oh, this looks like a great animation." When I did out, I was like,
Yeah.
I was thinking stuff. It does look like it would be a great animation,
Yeah,
but it's just
yeah.
for a comic book.
Yeah,
But
no, it is.
Yeah, when DC do animation, they do it well.
They do, mate. They do. Fuzzy's just saying here that the TV series was tremendous. Absolutely, I loved the TV series, Fuzzy. It was very, very cool. It's a shame we didn't get a continuation of that, really. But yeah, very, very good series. Comic Journey, they can probably do a lot more with the animation, and at least DC animation series have proven track record. Yeah, I agree, bud. I agree. We've got Big Dave here. Have a good one, fellas. Sorry, can't watch the live. Have family up. We'll catch up. Peter virtually cuppa soon. Yeah, bud. We've got. Sorry, guys, just to go off pieces for a second. Dave, we've got the CQC inspecting next week, so give us a call after that. So I'll not be able to next week, but week after, definitely. Yeah. Okay, Rob, what are your thoughts on Watchmen? Have you seen the movie?
The live action, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Did
was
you
fine.
like it?
It was fine. Yeah, I mean,
The
the
books
longer
obviously
cut
did.
was even better, but I mean, it was still fine. I mean, it was. It's nothing like I'm not going to. I don't go and rewatch that movie over and over again.
Yeah.
It's just is. It's something I've watched a couple times, and it's fine.
Just want to say, guys, we've got 25 people in the chat here, so thank you very much, everybody. Please do hit that like and subscribe button. Efren wasn't sure if he was going to get on tonight, so I just wanted to mention this. I love that. I'd love a picture in the captain's chair. Very cool. I wanted to give a massive thank you to Efren. So, as some people know, because we've mentioned it earlier, he's actually gone out of his way to hunt out some San Diego Comic-Con exclusives for various people, a number of who are on this show. So very kind of him to do so. So thank you very much for that, Efren. And please do go check out Efren's YouTube page and make sure you give him a like and subscribe. And on the same theme, I want to give Rob, because he wasn't here last week, a shout out and a big thank you for sorting out that Transformers book for Rob. So it's always nice to have friends in other places who can pick up these things for us. So I really do appreciate it.
The postman picked it up yesterday. It's in transit to you. I didn't get around. I just decided to send it off to you. I wanted to throw in some extra stuff in there. Didn't get it. But I know you didn't care.
Yeah.
But I cared to send extra stuff, and I didn't. It didn't even have I didn't even. There's no stickers or anything even in there because I just.
Rob, has it got the Fat Stacks level of packaging that I've heard so much about?
I didn't pack it.
Oh, it's over.
I'm going to send it back, Rob. I'll send it back.
It's going to be destroyed now. You're going to see.
It's Fan Expo's packing.
The metal
I wonder whether it's going to get opened because, like, every package I get from Rob gets opened by custom. So I'm wondering whether you're going to get opened as well.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well,
but yeah,
probably
appreciate
not.
that.
Probably not because this one went U.S. Postal Service instead of UPS because it was just the one book. It was light enough that it was able to go basic postal service, so it was really inexpensive. It was less than $30 to ship to the UK. So
superb. But seriously, guys, can I just say that this is one of the greatest things about fandom, I guess, and community, that we can do this for each other and reach out and support each other. Because before, I obviously knew Efren and Rob and people like that, getting these exclusives was a nightmare. You'd pay through the nose on eBay and things like that. So it really is and Luke, I know that Efren's picked a few bits up for you as well.
Yeah, so he messaged me saying I'm in line to try and get your item, and then about an hour later I got the response saying I got it. So he definitely spent an hour of his time doing it. So I'm very grateful.
Yeah. Good stuff. So
you're all getting dancing Grimlocks. Is that what's going on?
Have you seen the price of that? Have you seen the price of the dancing Grimlock?
Blimey.
£1,400. Honestly, it's.
Yeah.
I mean, that's twice the price of the Prime.
It's
insane. But I do want it.
Can I just ask, Rob? Sorry, I've just noticed behind you, my eyes kind of like constantly looking. Is that a first print of NYX issue 3?
Yes,
the
it is.
23 Origin. That is awesome. It's one of my favorite characters, and I found it
9.6.
so hard to see like an actual first print of it. That's amazing.
Very cool. Very cool. I regret I had one of those Highland G signed by what do you call him? Who was the writer? Not the writer, the Crusader. What do you call him?
Artist.
Joe Q.
Caseta?
Crusader.
Yeah.
Did he have something to do with that book?
I think Marjorie Lou's the writer. I don't know. Who the
Yes,
artist
he's the story. It says
Okay,
Joe Caseta
yeah.
story.
Yeah, so I had it signed by him, and I sold it a couple of years back, and then immediately regretted it.
Yeah,
It's,
it's
a
kind of
great book
blown.
now.
It's kind of blown up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
you
good.
can't get the NYX stuff anymore. I've got all of the X23 stuff in first prints, but I don't have NYX.
Yeah, no, the NYX3. I mean, they're available, but it's a 9.8 is 4 figures, and then but it's about half the
Yeah.
cost for a 9.6. That's why I went with value.
Yeah, very cool, very cool.
Nice.
Okay, guys, bit more news. Henry Cavill prefers Josh Whedon's Justice League over the Snyder Cut. So, I just wanted to quickly ask you guys, who's seen both versions? Have you all seen both versions?
I haven't seen either version.
Really?
I've just seen the Whedon one. I just couldn't be asked
I've not
to
seen
watch it
either.
again.
I mean, you have to hand your geek cards in both. How can you not have seen either version of the Justice
Well,
League?
they don't have 10 hours to spend around doing that.
That's true. It's true.
I'm also just
yeah.
interested in those versions of those characters. I never particularly liked Man of Steel. I don't like his take on that tone.
Yeah.
Like, I like to see Superman with
That's
the
fair.
Clark Kent focus. I didn't really like
Yeah.
this angry Superman.
See,
No,
so
yeah,
As much as I like Henry Cavill as Superman, I didn't think they
Yeah.
let him be a fun.
See, I
Superman.
like Man of Steel. I thought it was a good take on the character.
But yeah, I, wasn't
I liked
invested.
it, but I
just never
hear
got to that point.
absolutely what Highland G says. Superman,
Yeah.
and we've talked about this before, Superman for me is supposed to be a character that inspires hope and represents the best of one, all that kind of jazz. Cavill's version, sadly, was kind of more of a grim and gritty and
Although I
more leaning
did watch
towards Batman.
there was like a fan remix of like Man of Steel and Batman versus Superman put together as one movie, and I watched that,
Right.
and that was actually really well done. Because they got rid of all the kind of filler stuff and just made it really smooth.
Yeah, yeah. So out of
that's
those
not
that have
the
seen,
Snyderverse movie. The Snyderverse movie added more filler and really drew out the movie rather than just re-edit and cut. But
so those of you that have seen both, which version do you think's the best?
Snyder easily.
Really?
So,
yeah, I mean, I like the Snyder cut version better from a story standpoint, but I truly stand by my statement that there was a lot of editing that could have been done. It didn't need to be that
sure.
long,
Yeah.
and but it would have been as a 3.5 hour long flick. It definitely would have been a much better movie than the original.
Yeah.
I feel like they just wanted to try and get as much new content into that version of it. It wasn't so much about making it the true Snyder cut, just everything that they had. And even like, I actually think the Wonder Woman opening sequence is better in the Whedon version.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, and it's essentially just a re-edit of the same scene, but they changed that for no real reason. Like, and it's just a bit different in that sequence, and it's less good because of that. But the Snyder cut as a whole tells a better story. It's more coherent. It's got less annoying jokes.
It tells a full story as opposed to a partial story.
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah, and you're right about the humor value because Josh tried to put as much of his Marvel-y kind of humor in there as he could, and it just doesn't work with that character stable, I don't think. Just wanted to mention this very briefly about computer games. We've got a look at the version of Venom for the new Spider-Man game. That looks amazing. I'm desperately hoping they do a hot toy of that because it looks fantastic. I think they've got it bobbing.
Yeah.
Geek. Hydra Collectibles Geek. This, I would imagine, is exciting you no end. So we've got a animated Ryan Reynolds produced Biker Mice from Mars, and we've got a live action Kenneth Branagh directed Gargoyles movie. Now, I know nothing about either franchise, but I know you really rate them. Are you excited about this?
Yeah, so both shows kind of spiraled off from the whole Turtle Mania stuff. We had the Turtles first, and then you had these spin-offs like Street Sharks and Biker Mice from Mars, etc. And yeah, it's all good fun. I know that our friend Ben, the attention-seeking geek, has actually ordered some of the new Biker Mice from Mars toys. and they look great. I myself have all the originals, so I'm actually going to skip these ones and just keep with the old stuff. But yeah, it's exciting to see. I am curious though. Like, I like Ryan Reynolds, but I know that sometimes he can go a bit too far with his comedy and stuff.
So this is what I was going to ask you, because like I say, I don't know Biker Mice from Mars. Are they, because Ryan Reynolds will insert his Deadpool-esque humor, won't he?
Yeah, and that's the problem that I have, is that Ryan Reynolds has pretty much just adopted the Deadpool persona now.
He is,
and he's no longer a separate entity, and that's concerning, to say the least.
How much power does a co-producer actually have compared to the director or the writer?
No idea.
It depends on the production. Like, because if it's in name only, then not at all.
He could just be signing off on it.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, could be nothing.
But as for Gargoyles, I'm all in. Like, the Gargoyles animated cartoon is absolutely awesome. I have the comic book series that came out, not the new one. I have the old ones. We had 2 runs of that. Plus, I've got the new ones. And yeah, NECA have been releasing action figures for Gargoyles and all sorts. So it makes a lot of sense, especially since putting it out on Disney Plus. I feel like it's found a new audience again.
And Kenneth Branagh, I mean, I know I might be alone on this, but I loved his version of Thor. I loved the Shakespearean elegance of it all far more than I loved party shite Thor later on. So I was very happy with Kenneth Branagh's kind of version of it. I'm imagining he'll bring some of that kind of majesty and stuff to the Gargoyles.
And that's what the Gargoyles really need. For anyone who hasn't watched that animated series on Disney Plus, I highly recommend at least just the pilot episode. It is phenomenal. I absolutely love it, and I could watch that over and over again. It's such good storytelling.
Yeah. What about the rest of you? Rob, I see you nodding away there. Are you a fan of the Gargoyles?
Huge fan. Loved it growing up as I was going to say, but a kid. I wasn't a kid when it came out, but I loved it as a young adult, watching that. And my wife and I both love it. It got me into collecting stone figure gargoyles. I have all. So back, it was an early collection I did early in the days. And my wife and I actually at one point were really close to getting Demona and Goliath tattoos.
Wow.
But fortunately we pulled back from that one, but
I feel I'm missing out massively on this. So Luke's talked about this numerous times with us, and I've never watched it. So I've got a fortnight's holiday coming up, so I will make the commitment to binge it, and then we'll maybe do a show.
What's amazing is how many voice actors from Star Trek Next Generation are in that, because there's a bunch of them.
The show interests even more now.
Yeah, you've sold it to us there. Phenomenal series, Jack.
I think I'll join you with that, Pete, because I vaguely remember it from when I was a kid, but really have no attachment to Gargoyles.
I think that's what we got to do then, right? So you guys go watch it, and we'll do a special review show about Gargoyles as a whole.
Where you come back and tell Luke and I how right we were.
Yeah. Let's do that. That's a commitment.
Otherwise, we skip over the show completely, and we'll just go about our business as usual.
Good stuff. Let's do that.
Is they picked the new Dynamite series picked up right from where
I was just going to say Dynamite's doing Gargoyles right now.
Yeah, they're doing Gargoyles right now, and it just picked up right from where the show had left off. The TV show had left off. So.
Right,
Dynamite's done well with the Disney comics. They've got a few of the different villains with like Scar and Maleficent and some other stuff going on as well.
Yeah, Scar's actually quite good. I'm reading Scar; it's not bad. Okay, guys, we've got 25 people in the chat. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please do like and subscribe, and please make sure you go and check out everybody in the panel's channels because they've got because they've got great content. Now this excites us. This really excites us. This is DC Universe versus the Monsterverse. So we've got Godzilla there, we've got Kong, we'll have Monster Island. There's a whole host of interconnecting covers and all that kind of jazz. I think this looks great because I love the Monsterverse. So this has piqued my interest. Anybody else excited by this? This up anybody else's street?
Definitely.
Yes.
Look at that.
I can't remember. Was it Von Hoot? Was it you that sent us this?
It wasn't, but
it might be fuzzy. Can't remember who sent it.
I'm very abreast of it, and I'm fully endorse the idea. Love Kong, love Godzilla, love the Justice League. So simple as that.
Actually, it was Phil sent it to us, and I've just remembered in one of our group chats. So thank you very much for this, Phil, because I wasn't aware of it. I think those covers look amazing. I'm a massive fan of the Monsterverse. So yeah, I think this will be cool. And this is probably going to be a one, and it irritates us to say it because I keep saying I'm over it. This is going to be a one where I end up buying variant covers and all that kind of crap, because I've said I wasn't going to do that anymore, but I keep dipping my toes back in. Yeah. Rob, you after these? Are these interest of you?
No, not going to interest me. I like my kaiju fighting Ultraman.
Yeah, good stuff. What the hell's that? Oh, yes. So, Von Hoot, you sent this over to us. This is excellent news. So tell a little bit about this.
Yeah, so Daniel Warren Johnson last night won a Will Eisner Award for Do a Powerbomb. It's the best publication for teens, which I didn't think of Do a Powerbomb as a teen book, but I'm fine with it. He needs recognition for this book because it's one of the greatest books in years. I love it. So I'm very excited for him. He deserves it. Everything he writes is amazing, and let alone draws.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of Do a Powerbomb. It's one of my favorite series of last year. Is it last year or the year before? Last year, wasn't it?
Last year.
Yeah, stunning series. Stunning. Phil's just saying DC's all over the place. Dawn of DC, Night Terrors, and now Monsterverse. Yeah. Let's not talk about Night Terrors because it's utter garbage. Okay, guys, let's move on to what we've been reading this last week or so. Couple from me. First of all, I've read the first issue of a new take on Blade. That was really good. Better than I expected, actually. But yeah, it was far better than I expected. I went in with low expectations. Mark Millar's Big Game. This is the book that kind of crosses over all of the Millerverse properties. He did a really good job of the first issue of getting us engaged, so I recommend that one. That's an interesting read. And Void Rivals issue 2. I'm interested. Has anybody else read Void Rivals?
No, not yet. So
yeah, I've read Void Rivals and Big Game.
What did you think of Void Rivals, Ron Hood?
I thought it was a bit of a non-entity, really.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I loved issue 1. It had a real enemy mine kind of feel to it. This one, I don't know, it didn't set me world alight.
It didn't really set anything up particularly, and didn't tell a story either. So it's a bit sort of like,
yeah.
I mean, the big reveal at the end is sort of really.
It's a deep cut.
It's very deep cuts. So like, it's not going to hit with people. Like I had to look it up. It's so deep cuts. Like,
not as good as the first issue, I'm afraid. And Fuzzy's agreeing there. Void Rivals disappointed. Yeah, I have to agree, Fuzzy, mate. It gave a bit more background with the two main characters. Yeah, that was interesting. It just didn't excite us, I guess. What about you guys? Have you guys been reading anything interesting this week? JP,
lots.
You reading much?
Yeah, I read that first issue of Blade. Thought it was really good. New Moon Knight series. Read the first number 1 of that. Enjoyed that.
Terrible odd.
Did you think so? I didn't mind.
Yeah, I wasn't.
You should put your glasses on, Pete.
How dare you? But yeah.
I tell you, the Night Terrors ones, I did enjoy the Wonder Woman one and the Punchline one this week.
Yeah, actually, that's exactly the same as me. I haven't read Nightwing yet. I've got Nightwing to read.
That's said.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I read loads. So yeah.
Good man. Highland G, have you been reading anything?
So I finished up No Man's Land this week. I was reading through the second omnibus, so just pushing through most of that. It's the first time I've read through the whole kind of thing. Yeah. To be honest, the 3 omnibuses, there's a lot of filler and side stories and all that kind of stuff going on. But it was nice I think the big story that stood out for me was seeing that Huntress was actually the one that created the black Batgirl suit and like the progression of her character. So that was really interesting to read.
Yeah, it's funny, because, and again, I don't know if it's this rose-tinted glasses kind of thing collectors have. But I look back on those big event books that Batman had, because there was Cataclysm, No Man's Land, all those kind of series. It's been really, really good when I compare them to modern day big crossover events. Do you know what I mean? Now, and I don't know if that's if I go back and read it, if I think, oh, actually, it's a bit ropey.
I think if you were to read like the core issues of the actual event, it's a lot more concise. But in these massive omnibuses, it's just too much. I think the only Batman event that really holds up to me for like multiple rereads is the Murder Fugitive stuff, because it's a lot more condensed.
Yeah, that's good. Ian, it's not a mask, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. Whose mask? What are you on about? No idea what you're talking about. Von Hoot, what have you been reading?
Yeah, as I said, Void Rivals and Big Game. Big Game really excited me. I was well into it, and I'm relatively new to Mark Miller's Millerverse stuff. I read all of Nemesis Reloaded, which was excellent, but this feels quite important because it's sort of the first time he's done this big crossover type stuff, and it did a really good job of hooking me in as well. So I'm going to go back and read all the other sort of tie-in stuff that I can find. The other thing that I started reading is Heartstopper Volume 3 now.
Yeah.
And again, it's much like the first two volumes. It's adorable. Like that. That's what it is. I really enjoy it. I think that's about all I've read this week. Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah. I enjoyed the Millerworld thing, but I'm more familiar with these older characters in the new Nemesis series, so I had to go back and have a look at who the Starlight character was, the old guy who was talking to the kids. I wasn't familiar with that character, so I've had to go back and read on him.
It did a really good job of making me want to read Ambassadors, because I completely slept on that, and like that big time. Really,
Ambassadors starts off well and then rapidly goes downhill, I think.
Sad time.
Rob, how about yourself, sir?
Unmute myself first. Yes, I actually read this week. A few people kept turning me on to a book. They keep saying, Rob, you got to read this book. You got to read this book. It's really freaking good. So I don't know if you've heard of this book, but it's like called Saga. Apparently it's pretty freaking good. And I picked it up and I opened her up, and next thing I know, I was done reading it. And now I had to contact my LCS and tell them to get me the compendium. So
is it? I know this is a stupid question to say, right? Everybody bangs on about that book, and I bought compendiums 1 and 2, which are like that, and I've never picked it up to read it. I've got them, but I've never read it. Is it worth a read? Is it,
dude? I swear the way it opens up is so good. It doesn't like try to tell any backstory. It just jumps you right into the story, and then through that starts to fill in some of the stuff. So you're hooked instantly in what's going on. It's got a good pacing of going between the different story elements that are going. I as a sci-fi guy who's into it, I was super thrilled with it. I couldn't put it down, and I'm not a big reader. Really, and like I said, I was done before I knew it, and I was instantly having to tell my LCS, say, all right, I need the rest of it. Hook me up. So
I'll get onto it then.
Yeah, so I mean, enough people had just kept telling me. It's like, okay, fine. The other thing I picked up, now I'm about to crack open to read.
The
Avengers Omnibus. I figured since I had just recently, somebody had gifted me the Justice League first omnibus. I figured I needed to have the Avengers first omnibus to go with it. I'm not really an omnibus guy, but hey.
It'd be really interesting to see what you think of that, because I know Luke's gone back and reread all the first Spider-Man issues. I collected a Marvel series of hardback books, and it republished all of the first kind of key appearances. And some of it's a hard read.
Oh no! Hey, look, I've read many a Golden Age and Silver Age books, and they are a very different read than today, and that's fine. But it's just kind of fun to have. It's first 30 issues. So
whenever I get an old slab, like an old book that's slabbed, I always think, I'll get on the app and I'll read what happened in it, and I'll be that much more into it, and then I'm like, 2 pages in, I'm like, I'm out.
Absolutely. I'm much the same, mate. Much the same. Luke, have you been reading much this week?
So So last week I mentioned that I was going back and rereading a lot of the Mirage Turtles, and I've still just been carrying on with that. It's a lot of fun. It is weird. Like, there are some really bizarre and weird out there stories that I think a lot of us don't remember. Like I said, I have read all these once before, but going back and reading them again now, it's it paints the Turtles in a different light to what I remember.
Yeah. Good stuff. Again, I need to get back because I've not read any of the original Mirage stuff, I don't think. I'll have to go back and pick some of those up, I think. Obviously not the originals, craigie. I wish. Rob, just coming to you, because I know you have an extensive collection. Have you got any of the original Mirage Turtle books?
Nah.
No. Pricey books these days.
They're doing two hardcover compendiums, I believe, to complete them if you are looking to pick them up.
Oh, I might give a go at that.
I got that one paid. That was only like 20 quid off Amazon.
Which one's
That's
that?
The first 7 issues plus the Raphael one shot.
Nice.
I think there's 4 or 5 hardcovers that are the same size.
You can get the hardcovers,
but they've just redone them as 2 hardcover compendiums that you can get.
I was going to say that one that you're holding, GP, Volume 2, is so hard to get hold of.
It is. Do you know what it is? I had it on my wish list, and Amazon had it. And then when I went to go and get it, it was already off.
It's selling for like hundreds of pounds, and it's
well, I came to it on my wish list because they will get it back on there.
Yeah,
So
good stuff. I'll pick some of them up, I think. If you're interested in views of this week's comic books, check out the show tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, where we'll review some of the week's comics, including Night Terrors, Big Game, and a whole host of other bits and bobs. So, what have we been picking up this last week? We'll start off with myself. I'll show you off a few bits and bobs. Not a pickup, but this is something that was sent to me. So those of you that watched the show last week will know that absolutely at random, a gentleman on Instagram who says he watches my show sent me an image, electronic image, put an image up of us, which I've since used for my new logo and all the rest of it. And then today I've received this through the post. So he's actually sent us a stunning image copy poster. So absolutely ecstatic about this. I think it's stunning. Like I say, I've changed it now, so this is now my logo and my kind of my icon and all the rest of it. Cannot thank this guy enough. True act of kindness. He's been incredible and supported us with this, and also done my Instagram logo and my YouTube logo and everything, just as a pure act of kindness. So honestly, can't thank him enough. That is amazing. I also picked up this. Now, this is something that I had a long time ago at a higher grade. I sold it because the price was right and I made a canny bit of profit, but I regretted it ever since. So there's a video coming out about this pickup, but very pleased to have first print copy of Invincible back in my collection. This is nowhere near the grade I had. It's got no spine ticks, but it's got some color rub on the white of the image logo there, and there's a damage down the bottom corner down here. But yeah, I reckon it's probably a 7.5 or an 8. But over the moon to have this bad boy back in my collection. I got this for a very good price. So happy with that. That will be going off to be graded.
Cool.
JP, have you picked up anything this week?
Yeah, just 2 books. So I'm getting the Saga of the Swamp Thing trades. So I picked up book 2. Can't wait to start reading that. And then I picked up the Nice House on the Lake, Volume 1.
Oh, very cool.
I was looking to see if they added it in like a collected edition, because there's a couple of volumes out now, and I've not been able to find it in collected, so I was picking up the trades.
Interesting
story, but it's not out yet.
Right.
It's an interesting story, that one, JP. I'd be interested to hear what you think of it.
Yeah.
It's a cool book.
Yeah, but that's it for me.
Good stuff, mate. Highland G?
So I haven't picked up much this week. I picked up the first issue of Blade. I don't actually have it on me, but it's the one that you were just showing, the new kind of Blade series. And I also picked up this trade of Lovesick. I haven't read any of it. I saw the first issue a while ago. This is one of these Red Room style kind of ones. But this is really thick. 7 issues. So it's a good value for what you're getting.
Very cool. I've not read that one, but it's meant to be good. So, yeah.
I've heard really good things.
My basic understanding is that there's this character called Domino, I think, that's a kind of dominatrix type person that's in these red rooms, and her fans get more and more demanding. It's how far she's willing to go. I think that's the overall premise.
Interesting. Sounds interesting.
Very cool.
Adult, not for kids.
Yeah. Von Hoot. Very cool. You're muted, mate.
No, it's basically just this. It's the only thing that's arrived that I've opened, and I cannot say enough. It blew me away because I'm not really familiar with Warworld as a comic, and it has me really interested. I'll definitely look into it now because it's one of the better features that they've done recently. Let's put it that way. And it sort of plays a bit like an anthology. Yeah. So it's all in different, different stories. I don't want to spoil anything, so it's difficult.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Rob, you got anything you want to show off?
Yeah, so I unboxed this earlier this week. I'm not going to show off stuff that hasn't been revealed yet on the channel, but first thing, just this one wasn't revealed on my channel, which is fun. I picked up, this is like $25. This is it's like 10 different video game console emulators and like 200,000 games, including arcade games, like the classic Turtles side scroller and all the various Street Fighters and all, I was playing the Captain Commander. I don't know, it's all kinds of stuff. Really crazy. It's like $25, and it's like more games like Atari 2600, 5400, 7800, the Sega Genesis, PlayStation, just all these different emulators all built into one. It's about the size of your phone. Plug it into your HDMI port on your TV with a USB power, and came with 2 controllers and the wireless controllers, and just
that sounds very cool.
Just some fun retro fun from a game.
I feel like a lot of legislation must have let up recently or something, because there's a lot of new emulators come out.
Like, probably. But from a comic book standpoint, what was revealed on my channel this week, the first one was a deal of the day advertised from Shortbox, so it only cost me about $100 or so. Was Avengers 58 when Vision joins the Avengers.
Yeah. I love that.
And of course his origin. So just something to throw in there. And then the book that cost me a little bit more than $100, adding another book to my collection there. So now I'm down to only 1 ASM book remaining. I just need to get ASM 3 to complete my run. I was fine with the fact that we've got a missing square in the corner to get that book there for the price I got it for.
Yeah. But stunning. ASM 3, remind us, Rob, what's ASM 3?
First Doc Ock.
Right, okay, good stuff.
It's a spicier meatball.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get that one soon. Stunning.
I'm fine with waiting until next calendar year.
Oh, do you mean next financial? Yeah.
Because, I've been buying a lot of other keys, as you guys will see over the next couple of weeks here. Some major big keys after week after week are going to be revealed. So I kind of diversifying my portfolio beyond just Spider-Man.
Good stuff.
I know Luke doesn't understand why I would do such a thing, but
yeah. Luke, have you got anything you want to show off, mate?
No. So it doesn't mean that I haven't been buying, but all my stuff's been online. So I've been doing pre-orders and all sorts. So there's going to be stuff coming in soon. Let's just put it that way.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, guys. So let's now have a little bit of a rundown of what we've been watching. I wanted to start off with Secret Invasion. Bit of an interesting series. It seems to be split in opinion, left, right, and center. Some people think it's the best thing ever. Some people think it's trash. And in fact, one of our YouTube colleagues was telling us today that he thinks it's one of the worst shows they've done. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think it's got me hooked. It's got me intrigued. And I've put this particular image up because, is it Olivia Colman? Is that her name, I think? Yeah. She is phenomenal in this series.
She's easily the standout of it.
Oh, absolutely. I want a series just about her. She's brilliant.
So as you guys know, I said I was going to binge watch it. I binged it today. So I watched from episode 1 through to 5 today. It's not massively doing it for me. I'll have to say, like I've watched it and it's been entertaining, but nothing has really wowed me. Like the thing, like I've kind of guessed things along the way and said, oh, this is what they're going to do. This is how it's going to be. I just feel like it didn't need to have the Secret Invasion name. Like it could have been its own separate story, and I think it would have benefited from that. I think if we didn't have something to compare it to, I think we would give it a lot more respect.
Yeah, I agree with that, Luke. I don't think it needs to be taught. I don't think it needs to be branded as Secret Invasion. Anybody else watching it? Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm up to date. I think it's this last episode helps. I like this last episode quite a bit. I still don't entirely care, but like I am enjoying it. I like spy stuff, so I'm there for the ride. But there doesn't feel like there's any stakes or anything. Like, it is what it is.
I mean, I'm enjoying it for the acting more than anything. I am thinking I like the spy element to it. It's funny, but my wife watches it with us, and you know how you have your superhero suit up kind of scenes and things. When in this last episode you get that with Fury kind of thing, and she burst out laughing and says, "Oh, is this Fury suiting up?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is. What's your problem?" Yeah, I thought it was.
I couldn't believe they had him put on the same clothes essentially. It's like he took off his big black Mac and put another big black Mac on. Why?
It's a leather Mac, wasn't it? It was nice. It's a one Marvel show I wish wasn't end so soon. Yeah, I thought it was a good episode. I have serious thoughts about the harvest. I think there's a twist coming. Yeah, maybe, mate, maybe. But overall, for me, good series. And like I say, I'm loving Olivia in it. I'm hoping we'll see more of her, which is interesting because I was quite negative about her to start with because I'm a big Union Jack fan.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
It was a grandfather who was Union Jack.
Yeah, and I was kind of hoping that we were going to get a version of Union Jack in this, and when I saw her, I was thinking, "Oh, she's too old," and all the rest of it. But actually, the character she's playing is great. Really enjoying it. I wanted to mention this. I've talked about this before. This is From. I'm mentioning it because I've just finished season 1. It's spectacular. If you aren't on this, I recommend it. If you like horror, if you like Lost. This is very much in the same theme as Lost from the first season.
It's very, very Losty, and I don't mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
That makes me not want to watch it now.
I completely because there's like, you know, I mean, they are playing from the Lost playbook in terms of, there's a strange light appeared, which is now and all kinds of stuff.
Like I do enjoy it, and I finished it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm looking forward to season 2. I don't know whether the guy that I watch it with is looking forward to season 2. Yeah. I think he'd rather poke himself in the eyes. So it depends how much you like Lost and like just a never-ending set of questions for every single half a show. There's another this is another that bit in the tent. Come on, Pete. That was like, you know what I mean when you see it.
Yeah. Anybody else watching it? Anybody else seen it?
No, but you're not selling it right.
Well, I love it. I think it's superb. It's in its horror and it's Lost and all the rest of it. So I would recommend it. Luke, you need to get on it because I think
I'm actually planning to start it this week. So believe it or not, I've just finished a rewatch of Lost. And then knowing what you guys are talking about with this show, I'm ready to go straight into it.
What platforms are ready?
I don't know. A memory stick just landed outside my door.
Next, we've got this. This is the Marvels trailer that hit this week. The second one. Meh. Anybody watch that?
I'm quite excited for it.
Oh, yeah.
I like the fact it's not sort of for me. Like I like to put myself in like a teenage girl's position, which is weird, and think, you know, it's aiming for those people. It's not aimed at me. So as long as I bear that in mind, it's quite a good version of that. And also, can I point out as well, there's a lot of criticism of it not being aimed towards like at us, but like practically everything is aimed at us these days.
I have no problem with that.
Let them have a thing, and like try and put yourself off to the side and be like, well, it's good for that.
I'm hoping it's got a flavor of Miss Marvel because I did enjoy Miss Marvel.
Yeah, that's the main reason I'm into it is because of Miss Marvel. I love that show.
So
I think it's perfect.
I like the characters in Miss Marvel. I didn't like the show. So I liked her and I liked her family and I liked the dynamic between that. But I thought the overall show, there wasn't much context to it. Like I feel like it's stuff that we've seen before. I thought it was a bit boring with like the enemies and the like.
They were very
do it for me with that.
Well, to be fair, the enemies were quite unforgettable. Forgettable. They weren't the best.
Yeah, I mean, so I watch, all three of these characters that as they've been introduced, I've not had any problem with them. I've not understood what people were having issues with them. As just a passive fan of the genre, I thought that they were all fine, enjoyed them enough, and watching the trailer, I'm more intrigued by it than I was before. I don't understand what the big bad is on this one, and I'm sure that they'll explain it. And I mostly probably because I don't have any kind of knowledge of that aspect, but I like the idea. I like the idea in general. So
I think they can have a lot of fun with this swapping between each other. I think that could be quite cool. So we'll see.
Mix a little superhero with Freaky Friday with whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this totally surprises. So this is One Piece. This is based on one of the best-selling animes of all time. I've not read anything of One Piece. I've not watched the cartoon, the animated version or anything. Watched this trailer, and it was just good fun. It did look
fun, didn't it?
It was weird. It was quirky. It got us intrigued. So Highland G, I know you're probably more in line with this kind of stuff, I think. Is this something that's interesting you or not?
It certainly intrigues me because, as you said, it looks fun. The only kind of downside I would say is that when you're so used to the freedoms that the manga and anime has, in the sense of like limbs don't have to have joints and they can get as long as they want and they can do whatever they want with the different things. Like, I think they're going to be limited a bit in what they can do with like live action, even with CGI, compared to what they would do in the animation. But
his limbs going all over in this Highland J.
But it looks fun, like from like the general kind of premise. I haven't watched the trailer yet. I've only seen some images, but it looked fun.
So in the trailer, Highland J, you do get some elements of that kind of. I'm presuming the main character's got a bit of a Mr. Fantastic vibe going on. He seems to stretch all over the place. And So you see some of that. And it just looked silly and fun. Did anybody else watch
it? As long as it's fun and he's got his straw hat, people will enjoy it.
And I'll say that in the trailer, the set pieces looked absolutely brilliant as well.
What only thing I would say that makes it look a bit negative to me is it looks like a lot. Like for a movie, it looks like a lot happens in that trailer is chock full of stuff. So, but I dig a pirate. I like weird, stretchy people. It looks fun. Like, and that's the important thing. It looks really fun. And I never watched One Piece or read any of the manga just because One Piece is huge. I mean, it's impenetrable for me. So I'll definitely check it out. I'm glad it's on Netflix because I probably it would be at the back of the queue if I had to pay for it, but because it's Netflix, why not? Good fun.
Yeah. Rob, did you watch this one? Are you familiar with One Piece?
I wouldn't even know what the hell this was until just finally now, but no, I'm busy streaming. I'm busy watching some other anime right now.
Okay. And Luke, I don't know, you a big anime man?
So I only know of this from going to Comic-Con, and I see a lot of cosplayers all dressing up as various characters. And I asked one of my friends who is into manga what that was all about. And much like what Dr. Von Hoot said, when he told me just how much of it there was, I was like, well, yeah, I'm never going to break into that.
Yeah. I think I'll give the show a watch and see if it piques me interest, I guess. But yeah, now this came as an absolute surprise today. This has not been hinted at or anything that I'm aware of, but on Amazon Prime, we got a full episode of Invincible, Atom Eve. So her origin story, and we got the kind of the release for the next season of Invincible coming in November. I've watched this today and it was superb. Typical Invincible kind of cartoon, very, very much violent, very aggressive at points, but with great heart to the story. Anybody know this was out? Anybody watch this?
I just found out about it an hour or so before we came on, and I can't wait to watch it. Invincible's a great series.
Yeah,
it's really rewatchable as well. I've found you can just put on the first episode and get a bit of adrenaline rush whenever Omni-Man destroys everybody. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm going to watch it straight.
I I wonder if they're going to do like the spin-offs then, kind of like they've done with the comic, where they've got like the Guardians of the Globe and so on. Like, do you think they're going to throw in 1 or 2 episodes between seasons?
I think so, because I'm a big Invincible fan. I love the cartoon. I love the comic. This hadn't been hinted at all. So this
it's a good way to keep up the hype, you know.
Yeah, this just came out of nowhere, and it's a solid episode. So you're right, Harling G. I hope we get episodes like this of all of the key players, because this basically goes onto a backstory and talks about how she got her powers and all that kind of jazz, which I think is a great idea, because you don't get that.
That was a comic. They had a 5-issue comic that was like her origin story. That was a spin-off.
Yeah. So yeah, well worth checking out that one, guys. If you like the Invincible universe, it's a great episode. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about toy movies. This is kind of prompted by the fact that the Barbie movie is out now. I'm going to see that tomorrow just to see what it's all about. And I thought we'd just have a little bit of a chat about our favorite toy movies. So lots of people have sent in their suggestions. You guys have sent in some suggestions. This one came up a lot. Small Soldiers. Lost it. Small Soldiers. I've never seen it. Never seen this film. Anybody seen it? Anybody a fan of it?
Oh yeah, DreamWorks film.
Yeah.
Great special effects. I mean, world class. Love it from that perspective.
I mean, so it wasn't based on a toy, but it was a movie based about toys.
Yeah. So what's the actual premise? What is the film about? Because I've not. Don't say Small Soldiers.
Toys come to life and have a war.
It's right up my street, Rob. I like that. Yeah.
I mean, that's the plot.
I know our friend Ben, the Attention Seeking Geek's a massive fan of this, and he's just picked up one of the characters in a toy form, I think. Again, one that I'll probably have to get back onto them, because I've not, like I say, I've not seen this one at all. Obviously, we've got the classic. Luke, you sent this in, but so a whole host of the people on Tintin.
Yeah, so I wanted to make it clear as well that it's 1, 2, and 3. I don't need to see any more after that. Like, that was the perfect end. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I don't need any more Toy Story in my life other than those 3.
So what's the fascination with Toy Story? Why are those films ingrained in you, do you think?
As someone who never really grew up, someone who still buys toys now, I totally get it. I totally get the whole, passing your toys down to the next generation, or keeping hold of them because they're beloved, regardless of whether or not they come to life when you're not looking, is completely irrelevant. It's just that love for a toy and that bond that obviously the character has with his toys. I love it.
What about the rest of you guys? Are you fans of the Toy Story series?
It's pretty hard not to be, isn't it? I mean, they're great movies. They just are. I love that third one. It's wonderful. The Schindler's Lists of toys.
For me, it's the first one. It's the whole idea of a toy being replaced with a better toy. I mean, we've all kind of dealt with that as kids, like getting a newer toy that kind of like outshines the older toy. But also the aspect that I don't think I'd seen anything before, where kids take toys from all different franchises and with their own imagination just play with them all together. And that was something that I'd done as a kid, so I really related to that aspect of it.
Yeah. And was there anybody else who, like, I used to love the concept when they introduced this idea that the toys went on, when you weren't there, that they were going on with their own existence. I know as a kid, I remember used to think stuff like that they'd be going off and doing their own thing without me. I mean,
Well, as you guys know, I overthink stuff all the time. And with the way that the first Toy Story ends, with the neighbor Sid finding out that they're alive and that they talk, I love the idea that then in the third movie we see him as a dustman. And so you get that idea that he's saving the toys from being destroyed because he knows that they're alive and they're real. And that kid was changed forever. He wasn't a bad kid. He was a inventive kid. He didn't know that he was causing the toys suffering and pain. But moving forward, it's nice to think that he changed.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting theory. Look, interesting theory.
I'll give you another theory. We never see Andy's dad. So one of two things either happens: either the parents divorced and they separated because we know they were indeed moving house, or that maybe the dad had passed away. Either way, the mum then has to deal with the kid's birthday, a new toy, and everything else. And Woody was obviously a gift from his father, and so it's that him shunning the cowboy toy for the new and more exciting toy at that time brings a whole different meaning to the story.
Or, and hear me out on this. bubble helmets are flipping cool.
That too.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon.
I mean, wow. Yeah, wow. Anybody seen Lightyear? I've not dipped my toe in Lightyear
So
yet.
Lightyear shouldn't be a Toy Story film. It's a very good movie. It doesn't need to be Toy Story related. That astronaut does not need to be Buzz Lightyear. They could have marketed that and sold it as its own entity, much like what we were saying with the title for Secret Invasion. Yeah. And it would have done better, in my opinion. I think too many kids went expecting to see a Toy Story film, and it wasn't. You know, this was the movie that the character went to see who collected those toys.
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus or something, and I keep hovering over to watch it, but then I back out. Yeah, this has got to be a one for a lot of people to like. I think these, I think Highland J, you sent one of these in. I had 3 or 4 other people suggest this as well.
Chucky's one of my favorite films. Me and my girlfriend actually, when we first got together, sat and watched through each of them, and we were kind of like on dates, kind of like meeting up and stuff. And it was one of the things that we kind of connected over. It's just a hilarious set of movies that start out rooted in quite dark horror and just get more funny as they go on.
Yeah.
Can I also point out the amazingness that the character in Toy Story is also called Andy? And then obviously we got the kid in this who's also called Andy. You know, toys that come to life need a kid called Andy.
Yeah.
I saw Child's Play 2 and 3 when I was 10, and it might explain a lot. I love those movies. They're great. As a slasher fan, it's definitely the top tier of the toy slasher contingent. I do also love Puppet Master as well. I should point that out. Puppet Master.
I also actually have a Chucky and Bride of dolls. They're about maybe 40 centimeters tall, on display, and they're just awesome.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Chucky as well, and I've got a pizza face Chucky. But yeah, I remember watching these movies when I was far too young, really, and just being blown away by them. And back then, I think I still collected teddy bears and things like that, and being absolutely petrified that me teddies were going to come to life and things like that. It fucked us up, to be honest. Yeah. This is the latest version of that killer doll, the Megan movie, which a few people have suggested. You guys seen this one?
So does she class as a doll or does she class as a robot?
Well, she's designed as a toy doll, I guess, but yeah.
Or an automaton.
An automaton, yeah. It's an interesting movie. It didn't necessarily blow me away, to be perfectly honest. But again, it's interesting. And then we'll have Annabelle from the the is it one of those horror movies? It's the
Conjuring
movies. Yeah. Interestingly, that looks nothing like the actual Annabelle doll that it's based on. But again, quite a creepy doll. You can get a life-size version of that, which I've been tempted to get on a few occasions, because I just think in me geek cave to have that sat in a chair in the corner of the room would be quite cool. You guys fans of these franchises?
I tell you, an underrated one in the same sort of vein is Poltergeist with the scary clown.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
Yeah, Poltergeist again is the one I watched far too young and did bad things to me head. Yeah, very cool. Now, Luke, you sent this one in.
Yeah, I love Puppet Master. It's a very long-running franchise by Full Moon. I've got loads of the action figures, like the old 6-inch scale ones, and NECA have actually been releasing new versions, and some of them are even been listed for the Comic-Con this year. This series is amazing, and the backstory as well. It's all the serum that brings these to life is connected to the Reanimator series. So anyone that watched the Reanimator films, it's all part and part. But yeah, I love these characters.
Very cool. Very cool. And I noticed, just going off piece slightly, just thinking of old kind of horror movies I used to love. There was a toy line released at San Diego Comic-Con of Ghoulies 2. Anybody watch Ghoulies 2? Looks phenomenal. The figures look amazing. Absolutely amazing.
What I always loved about the Ghoulies franchise is, you remember the poster of the first one was
coming out of the toilet, isn't it?
Coming out of the toilet.
Yeah.
Which isn't in the film.
Yeah.
Like, and it was so popular because of that image that in the second one, it comes out of the toilet finally, so that they at least managed to get it out.
Another
of the
Charles Brand production as well.
Yeah. I
One of
always
them-
remember that creature coming out of the toilet, the kind of the scaly sliminess, because it was a very similar design. Did anybody watch a TV series called V?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that series. But when at the end of the first season, I think, and she has the alien baby, and it's that kind of horrible. Yeah, it's tremendous. Another series based on toys, the Transformers franchise, massive one. Obviously, lots of people put this forward.
See, the problem is that you asked for favorite ones based on toys, and Transformers isn't like unless you count the original animated movie.
But in his defense, that is the first actual movie that was based on toys that we've seen thus far.
Yeah.
Whereas the others were all movies
about toys.
About toys.
Yeah.
So for a while, I was thinking that I misunderstood the assignment. I mean, I didn't send that one in, but I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't sure if the toys or the animated series came first. So I considered it an animated series, not based on toys. I wasn't sure.
No, the toys came first. Yeah, the toys came first. And Luke, you haven't seen the latest film, have you?
I haven't. I've heard really good things about it, but my problem is, even now I sit there with the older films, and every now and then I think, oh, it wasn't as bad as it was it? And I put it on, and sure enough, it is.
Yeah, oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's as bad as you remember. This latest one though is worth a watch. It's a lot of fun, and I'm as big a critic of those god awful Michael Bay films as anybody.
Yeah.
So
now, this just to clarify for what Rob was saying, when I meant toys, I meant based on toys, about toys, board games, whatever.
That's
so
what
speaking of board games, and Rob, I'm going to ask you to speak first on this one. You've put Battleship forward.
I said when I sent that to you, worst, because I didn't. I just was quickly going. So I gave you my best, my favorite, and my least favorite.
So the reason I've said that, Rob, is Von Hoot has put Battleship forward as one of his favorites.
I didn't say it was one of my favorites. I said it was remarkably good compared to what I thought it was going to be. Like I thought it was going to be terrible, and it's a fine action movie.
I'm sorry, I don't think you understand what the word "fine" means.
It's fine. It's not bad. Like is my point. Like it's
that's like saying that you're a fine-looking woman. You know,
it's better than the Michael Bay movies. I will say that.
Although we have established that you do like to cosplay as a young teenage girl, apparently, as you said earlier. So
not a fan of Battleship, Rob.
No, I mean, it. First of all, I remember when they announced it, I was like, "How the hell are you making a movie about this board game?" And then they started introducing aliens. I'm like, "Oh, if I am I playing a different board game?" Because I don't know anything. And then this concept of just busting out the ship out of being a museum and it's combat ready. They don't understand how demilling works and what they do to a ship just to put it in a mothball, let alone to put it into a museum. I mean, come on.
I wonder how many people are old enough when they saw that movie that actually know what Battleships is.
Yeah, probably not.
So it's an interesting. I could not suspend my disbelief enough. And I might as well just brought up the Arizona or and had it go off and fight, or maybe what's that, the Yamamoto, and they could go up into space and fly. Let's make a real life Star Blazers. What the hell?
Why not?
It's just as likely to happen.
Oh my Lord!
And your last name, sir?
Was that you? Jesus!
Believe it or not, I did tap the mute button. It didn't work. I don't feel bad about it though.
Okay.
Probably drunk a kind of Sprite there.
Who put Clue? Was that you, Von Hoot?
I did. I love Clue. It's an amazing film. I've always loved it. And one of my favorite memories of my entire life is watching my daughter watch Clue for the first time, because she's a little bit like me in so much as she likes a bit of the macabre, but it's a fun macabre, isn't it? Like it's you know, it's one of the first instances where she's probably seen a murder scene, and I don't I think I'm still a good parent by showing it to her. She wasn't too young, but the bit where the candlestick comes out and you just see a hand with the candlestick walk over her, she literally covered her mouth and her eyes were as wide as the sun. And I was watching her watch it, and it was just the best feeling of my life. She was so immersed in this scene. It's a beautiful film.
Has everybody seen it?
Yes,
it's a great flick.
So this was one of the ones, wasn't it, that had different endings depending on which cinema you went to see.
Correct.
And obviously on the DVD you can just go through.
Yeah, DVD you can see them all, or the VHS, but in the theater they were different ones depending on where you went. So you went out to rewatch it. But DVH, you got to back that up right after showing a kid that, you then have to back it up with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. So they get.
We haven't done Rocky Horror yet, I keep thinking about it. Probably very soon.
So I feel, I feel
Tim
we're
Curry
close
at his
enough.
best.
Yeah.
Close enough now to tell you a couple of stories. So first of all, for Clue, me and my family watched that after going to see Knives Out. So I said, because my kids loved Knives Out. I said, this is a real good one. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But Rocky Horror, I did drama when I was younger at school, and we went to see a production of Rocky Horror. So me and my friend went in full costume, fishnets, the full shebang. And my dad, who was driving, got pulled over by the police on the way there. So this police officer's talking to me, Dad, and just kind of glanced to the back seat. It was an interesting.
Wow,
and then more recently, a couple of years back, I took my daughter to the theatre to see it. She'd never seen the movie or anything like that. She was absolutely blown away, because I'd said we'll go to the theatre a lot, and I said, this is not like a normal theatre production. You will be encouraged to shout and to sing and to,
you have to see it that way. You can't watch it for your first time. If you watch it for your first time as a DVD or Blu-ray or whatever, you're going to walk away. What are people? Why is this still being shown? Why are people doing this? It's something that you have to experience first in the theater with people who are fans of it, and then later on, after you've watched it a bunch of times, then you can watch it at home. And then I challenge you to not be shouting at your television and stuff while this movie's going on.
It's great fun. Now, Rob, you put forward one of my all-time favorite movies.
Yes,
Mars Attacks.
I just watched this again last night. Actually, it was hilarious, but Mars Attacks is great. Not only is it Tim Burton greatness, but we watch it. I mean, I forgot that some of the actors, you see the big name actors that are
Jack
in there
Nicholson,
to begin with.
Pierce Brosnan,
right? But then you forget the name's escaping me all of a sudden now. Princess Amidala, and
Keira Knightley. Not
Keira Knightley. Natalie Portman's in there. She's the daughter of the president.
Yeah.
Jack Black. Yeah. I was like, but it's just such a fun movie as a sci-fi guy to watch that. I mean, all the time. I always love to say, we still got 2 out of 3 branches of government working for us, and that's not bad.
Jack Nicholson's one of my favorite actors of all time. He has got some killer lines in that.
Yeah, so many good lines. So and the old woman, man, they killed Congress. It's so just fun.
I've always wondered how that movie got made, honestly. The cast is insane. It's got
Tim Burton.
Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan's in it, isn't he?
That movie got made because of Tim Burton. That was Tim Burton. Tim Burton was at his height,
at his peak of power,
and people just wanted to work. It's like doing, when you look at some of these other actors, some of these other films that get done today, where you look at these lineups that people just want to work with that act, like a Kevin Smith film, right? Yeah. The actors that are in there, and you're just like, because they all just have fun and want to work with them.
Yeah. A lot of them work with these people before they get massive as well, and then because they've got the connections, they go back and rework with that person. So the connections keep things going rather than.
I always wondered why Jack Nicholson is playing two characters that seem to have nothing to do with it.
He's Jack Nicholson.
Yeah, but what was the logic of that meeting? They were like, no, Jack, you play him and you play him.
I imagine
nothing to do with it.
The logic is we've got Jack Nicholson. Let's just get him in everything.
Let's maximize him. But he probably, as an actor, probably wanted to do it because they were two completely different characters.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I was watching it again last night. Like I said, I'm watching when Jack Nicholson, as the president, is addressing the American people for the first time to let them know that these UFOs are coming. And I just couldn't help but picture Jack Napier from Batman as a joke doing his. I've taken off my makeup.
Yeah. Super.
It was so
Great pick, Rob. Couple of other ones just to mention before we start wrap things up. G.I. Joe, obviously there's been a whole movie franchise on those. Hopefully going to be seeing some more soon, tied with the Transformers movies. Couple of interesting G.I. Joe movies. Trolls, I've sat through that with my kids based on the Trolls toys.
Yeah, that surprised me. Like that was surprisingly good. I sat with my daughter to watch it, and I really loved it. Like it had no reason to be as good as it was.
Yeah, just silly fun, isn't it? Just silly fun.
I've never
and
seen
then we
it,
get Masters of the Universe.
The goat of toys.
I said I did have random troll toys. I used to get them as like fillers at Christmas. You would just get a random couple of trolls just wrapped up.
Yeah.
You know what dawns on me is we completely missed the boat on this. There's not a single one of the Lego movies in here.
Oh, wait for it. We've got them, mate.
I thought this was the last card. Sorry. I'll go back to my corner now.
Then we've got the Masters of the Universe, obviously based on the toy line.
Very
disappointing.
Movie.
I don't know if anybody's aware, but very disappointing that we were supposed to be getting a live action movie.
Yeah, Netflix have cancelled.
Yeah, it's cancelled.
Yeah, but do you know what? I think that's a blessing in disguise because they're shopping around now for someone else to take it over, right? And I don't think Netflix would do. I don't think they could do it justice. Yeah. I think we need one of the bigger companies to do it. So I don't see how Netflix can bring Battle Cat to life with like CGI and stuff like that. Like I mean, I watched that Power Rangers Netflix special, and that
was dog shit.
That's not the whole
was meant to be.
Though, is it?
That was kind of fun.
Budget, though.
But I don't think Netflix, out of all of the different people that could try and do this, like we want like Lord of the Rings style. If we're going to do Eternia and all that, like, that's what we want. So I think this is a blessing in disguise. I think it will disappear for a while and then it will rear its head again. It will come back.
I hope so. I hope we see a reinvigoration of the franchise.
How long have we been waiting for it? I mean, this is it was the biggest toy line.
But it's so hot right now. Like even my kids are collecting it. I'm collecting it. Like it's still around. It's still doing well.
Around. I'm praying that Kevin Smith season 2 does well and doesn't get bombed by all the nutters again.
I hope so. Like the first season's great. I love that show.
Did you see the footage from Comic Con?
I've not seen
on
it yet.
YouTube. There's a little bit of footage kicking around. It's worth checking out.
And then we'll have this masterpiece, which is an absolute masterpiece of a movie, the first Lego movie.
Can't stand it.
Oh, really, JP?
Have you been hit in the head? Like,
no, I cannot stand it. It's absolutely dog shit.
What?
Really is.
Are you sure you watched it?
I think you'll find JP.
That one, I said the Lego Batman movie.
Right.
When I got the second one, I said, no, I'm not watching that. Yeah,
have you seen? Sorry, did you say you've seen the Batman movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. You not like that either?
Yeah. Just doesn't do it for us.
Oh, Jack, that's awful. Didn't hear that. Dolph Lundgren apparently been given 2 to 3 years to live.
Yeah, it's not looking great for him, unfortunately.
Didn't hear that. Sorry, so you're not a fan of the Lego movies. Rob, you're a fan of the Lego movies?
I thought they were great fun. Surprised the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not cinematic masterpieces, don't get me wrong, but
no.
I would argue the first one is. I think it's remarkable.
Just light-hearted, childish takes on these characters, a bit of campness thrown in. It's just a bit of fun, I
just think like taking a property like Lego, which has no story, and making a genuinely good story out of it is borderline a miracle.
I also like the fact they created a new character, and their main character wasn't just like Batman. You know, they did have their own thing.
I think the twist of the whole Will Ferrell character was beautiful, actually, in the story, even with his kids and stuff. You know, was very well done. Very well.
It was
done.
properly good.
Yeah, properly good. Yeah. So JP, no,
teach their own.
Except on this occasion where you're just clearly wrong.
Okay.
This is coming out soon, apparently. Abrams Hot Wheels. This is left field. I wasn't expecting that.
Disney did first.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it a film? Is it?
Yeah,
it's Cars.
So.
Okay.
Didn't we already see that? We had a whole franchise.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, how do you give emotion or expression to Hot Wheels toys?
Well, I mean, it's the same as Lego in so much as when I heard about the Lego movie, I was like,
yeah, but Lego characters have faces. There's no faces on a Hot Wheels toy.
But
until that movie comes out, I'm not going to judge it.
Yeah.
Like my reaction is exactly the same. I'm like, why?
If it's a movie about people who collect Hot Wheels, then sure.
Yeah.
I still go back to saying we've seen it. It's called Cars. We've seen several sequels. There's no need to do another.
Yeah, and all those car films were all remakes of other films as well, anyway.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, guys, we've got some comments from the Tinternet. Big Dave, Mars Attacks, toys, Transformers, the 80s cartoon, absolutely. James is saying Small Soldiers, Jingle All the Way. I forgot about that. That's the is that the Arnie one where he's trying to get Turbo Man?
Yeah. I'm so happy as well. Last year or the year before, I was able to get a Turbo Man doll after years of wanting one. Funko re-released him. It comes out every Christmas.
Very cool, very cool. Doug, Toy Story, comic deal, got to be Small Soldiers. And then Fuzzy had a list. So Fuzzy said Clue, Drop Dead Fred. Drop Dead Fred's not a toy movie, Fuzzy. You're just chucking that in there because you love the movie, aren't you? Indian in the Cupboard. Not heard of that one.
Oh, that was based on a good while ago. Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
I remember reading the book. I remember reading the book as a kid. I don't remember it being a toy, but
I think it was.
Although it was I guess the character was a toy. So I guess there you go.
Yeah, I think it's more the character's a toy than
the character's a toy. Battleship, most of the 1990 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, we didn't mention that.
Yeah, that is a phenomenal film. Yeah. But I will argue that's based on a comic.
The comic came before the toys, right?
Came first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I would say we've missed? Jumanji.
Yeah. I love that film. Yeah.
I love it too. So good.
And Fuzzy saying Mars Attacks as well. Yeah, Mars Attacks is a very, very popular one. Love that movie. Connie is saying Small Soldiers. The Boy. I've not seen that.
The Boy,
yeah. Fuzzy saying it's about a Jack in the Box. I've never seen it, bud. I don't know what it's about. Robot Chicken. Ted, Jingle All the Way. Yep. Toy Shoulders. Sean Connery. Yeah. Toy Soldiers.
Robot Chicken just is a bunch of stop motion toys, right? That's what they do. Their shows.
Yeah, it's a TV show. It's not even a movie though.
Yeah.
So some good ones there. Some interesting concepts. Okay, that's all of our toy related stuff. We've missed a few, but actually been an interesting talk as usual, gents. Thank you very much for that. Just to mention again, we've got this week's comics coming up tomorrow night, so please do check that out. What have you guys got coming up on your channel? So Rob, tell what's happening over on your channel.
Well, Monday mail call as always. I guarantee you major DC keys. Then Thursday I'll have an IRF Authentics mystery box. So if you're not familiar with that, it's a mystery box. It comes out about 10 times a year, and everything in there is signed. Every single book in the book is signed. Sketch covers, remarks, sometimes original art pages, stuff can be in there, etc. I have the owner of IRF Authentics is going to join me as I unbox it in front of him, and he gets to either answer for his crimes or celebrate his greatness there. And then following Saturday will be Only Slabs right before this show, as I have Collecto 6 coming on the show. And if you're not familiar with Collecto 6, he has a huge, extensive collection of major keys, Golden Age books, was an advisor to Overstreet for quite some time.
Oh wow! So he's going to be bringing some fire, then, no doubt.
No doubt.
Yeah. Well, look forward to that one, mate. Look forward to that one. GP, how about yourself?
Yeah, I've just put a video out tonight doing the overview for the Last Ronin hardback book.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Spoiler free and all. I managed to not spoil any of it.
Good
so
stuff.
If anybody new people looking into that, obviously got the review show on Tuesday. A bunch of loads of little shorts, and yeah.
Good stuff. Lots going on. Excellent.
Lots.
Highland G, how about yourself?
So I don't have anything scheduled up, but I would just shout out that my my shelf tour's up if anyone wants to watch it. It's about an hour long, and you see all my various statues and books that I've kind of got. I do actually have this week off though, so my plan is to kind of get a bit of a kind of run of videos made, and that'll kind of have them once a week going forward.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. Dr. Von Hoot.
So I have one more day of work tomorrow, and then I'm off for 6 weeks. So I should be around a little bit more for live streams and whatnot. I unboxed a AOK from Retro Rocket Comics over in Canada last week. It's in the middle of being edited. It should be around Monday at this point, I think. Should be fine. It's amazing. I was so excited. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. I'm on Comiverse's channel at midnight tonight.
Wow. Midnight UK time.
So we're going to discuss Bruce Lee. So that's
nice.
Very good.
Go with that.
Very good. Good stuff. That'll be good. If I'm up, I'll watch that, mate. What channel did you say?
Comiverse. Yeah, I'll put links on Instagram and stuff like that.
That's not some Russian channel, is it? What's that?
COMI, as opposed to
he gets that a lot.
Luke, how about yourself?
It's Comiverse as opposed to Comiverse.
Yeah. Luke, what we got coming up over on Hydra Collectibles?
Yeah, so because of the 6 weeks holiday, I've been very busy this week recording videos. So I've recorded maybe 7 or 8 videos already that I need to go through and edit. But in the meantime, I've had my latest video kind of mini blow up. It's had over 5,000 views so far, and it's my experience with AliExpress in regards to an unboxing. So yeah, head on over to the channel and give it a watch if you haven't done so already.
Fantastic. Good stuff, Luke. Okay, can I just say a massive thank you to everybody that's been on the panel again tonight. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you guys. And a huge thank you to everybody that's been in the chat. Couldn't do the show without you guys, and love all your comments. So thank you so much for all of your interaction. And with that, we'll call it a night, guys. That's your whack. And we shall see you all hopefully tomorrow night over on the channel for the comic review show. And with that, we'll say good night, everybody. So, night.
Good night.
All right.